property of life. So what we can say, no non-living organ, no non-living shows this property, metabolism. No non-living shows metabolism. Okay, and hence metabolism is characteristic property or defining property of life. Okay, so metabolism is what? Characteristic property or defining property of life that is shown only by living organism. Okay, so that we shown. Now one exception, one time I have seen one question, that question asked that isolated metabolic activities in vitro. Vitro means lab, okay, laboratory. So isolated metabolic activity in vitro are living or non-living. So right, it is exactly not living things, but chemical reactions are living. So what we can say, it is very important. Isolated metabolic, you can write with note. Isolated metabolic activities inside vitro. Vitro means laboratory. Inside laboratory. Okay, isolated metabolic activities inside vitro are not living things. That you have to remember. Okay, so are not living things, but are living reactions. Reactions are what? Living, but things are not living. Okay, no reactions. Okay, so this you have to remember, that isolated metabolic activities inside vitro or laboratory are not living things but are living reactions. Okay, now next property is irritability. Next property is what? Irritability. Irritability means ability to respond towards their stimulus. Any stimulus is there. Okay, so next is irritability. It is what? Ability to respond the stimulus. Okay, what is that? Ability to respond the stimulus is known as what? Irritability. Is known as irritability. Okay, we can say that what is irritability? It is behavior of living organisms. It is behavior of living organism. It is behavior of living organism. Irritability. Now, how this responding stimulus? How this responding? So, if we are seeing that regarding plants, so plants respond to their external factor like light, temperature, wind. Okay, so what we can say, plant respond to external factor. Plants respond to external factors like light, water, air. Okay, plants responding to external factor. Okay, temperature. So we can write air, temperature, etc. Okay. Similarly, animals also responding. So animals, how they are responding? They are responding with their sense organs. Animals responding stimulus. Animals responding stimulus by their sensory organs. Okay, by their sensory organs. Plants responding only their external factor, animals responding with the help of sensory organ. No such sensory organs are present inside plants. Okay, now all the organisms, they are having a stimulus response, but only human being is the only organism who is aware of himself. So that's why they are known as self consciousness. What I told, only human being responds by himself and sense accordingly, and sense accordingly, react accordingly. And that's why humans are having self consciousness property. Okay, that's why what happened, humans are having self consciousness property. So in the world of life, only human having the capacity, what for awareness of himself. They are having what? Self consciousness means aware of himself. Okay, so they are having property awareness of himself, that is known as self consciousness, and this is only present in human being. Okay, next property is movement. Next property is movement. Now, what do you mean by movement? We already seen property of irritability. So because the presence of property of irritability, conductivity, contractility, okay, organisms showing movement. Okay, organisms showing what? Movement of locomotion. So what we can say here, due to presence of irritability, contractility, etc., living being showing movement of locomotion. movement of locomotion. Okay, now inside plants, okay, inside plants, how we can say that are rooted towards soil, okay, rooted towards soil, bending towards soil. So we are seeing like that. But in animals, how we can see, they are having walking, moving, okay, running. So these are having what? Movement. So what we can say, in plants, rooting towards soil, flower opening, etc., shows movement, and in animals, running, walking, etc., shows movement. Okay, so living beings also showing what property? They are showing movement. Okay, now next property is homeostasis, means changing environment, internal environment also balancing each other. Okay, so that property is homeostasis. So next property is homeostasis. How we can define this homeostasis? Homeostasis means ability of living being, okay, ability of living being to maintain a stable internal environment, to maintain a stable internal environment by self-regulating systems. What we can say, ability of living organism, ability of living organism to maintain internal environment, to maintain internal environment, ability of living organism to maintain internal environment by self regulating system, okay, by self regulating system, and this is known as what? Homeostasis. Now how it is maintained? So it is maintained by nervous and hormonal mechanism in animals. It is maintained by nervous and hormonal mechanism in animals, and in plants how it is maintained? So in plants only hormonal activity is done. Okay, so it is also maintained, it is also maintained by hormonal mechanism, hormonal mechanism in plants. Okay, how much? So in plants only hormonal mechanism, in animals nervous and hormonal mechanism occurs in animals. Okay, so this is having what? Homeostasis. Next, we have to discuss energy utilization. Okay, so energy utilization we will discuss in next class. Thank you. Energy utilization. Okay, so next class onwards we will see that.